From the greatest nights we ever had, the sun lit up the boulevard, driving slow, dancing in your car, singing along every night. Must have played that song 100 times. Made our own fire, we were lighter in the summer breeze, dancing to records in your bedroom like the 70s. Always on my mind, you and the music on my mind, frozen in time, always on my mind. I feel it all come back in a moment. Record spins a wave like the ocean. So if you wanna come over, the door is open. I play it all back in slow motion. Slow motion. You're my favorite memory. Summer heat feels like a melody, lighting up the night when I'm alone, and I hear those words we made our own. Sun lit up the boulevard, driving slow, dancing in your car, singing along every night. Must have played that song 1,000 times.
Well, here we go. Dearly beloved, we have gathered here in the sight of God and in the presence of these witnesses to unite these true lives through the ordinance of holy wedlock. This union is to form a nucleus of a new home, which is intended to be a miniature heaven on earth. Now, that is the traditional beginning of the wedding story. What it means is simply, we've come here today to see you get married. God is watching this wedding from heaven and eager to give us a blessing on the two of you as you take your vows. And if you don't start crying, you're going to be crying. I do really well unless everybody else is crying, and then I have to grow. This marriage will bring both of you the opportunity to be blessed personally by God in your unique, special life. God Himself performed the very first marriage, setting the example for all generations. What a wonder it is for a man and woman to come together in love and unity, committing themselves to each other for the rest of their lives. It's not normal for humans to even desire to become one with another human, especially the opposite sex. We're all so different, and the human heart is so delicate and tender beyond when two people come together to share every part of their life and a number of years ago, well actually it was a whole lot of years ago when I was in college, I had the privilege of attending a concert where world-renowned violinist Zach Goldman was a featured violinist. And I noticed through that amazing and enthralling concert that Mr. Perlman did some very interesting things. Anytime he had a rest, he was checking the tuning of his violin. He was adjusting so that his violin would perfectly match the tuning of the orchestra, and everything would come through to create the most perfect music possible. That's the way it is in marriage. That's the way it is in marriage. Both of you will be constantly making adjustments to the other's life and temperament so that your hearts will always stay in tune with each other. The only way this is even possible is for both of you to make Christ first, last, and best in everything that you do. Look back on the way God has led you to, so that now you are standing here getting married. Who would have thought those years ago when I landed at Thunderbird Adventist Academy and I had this bass and soprano in my vocal groups, that I would ever be standing here performing today. What a privilege it is for me, but what an amazing way God has blessed you. You know, it really started back then. With your soprano, your bass, joining together at that point in a group to create beautiful music. And now the two of you have chosen to disassociate yourselves in many ways with the group and become one and create your own music together. You developed the same friend group, but you didn't date each other. Taylor, what if your parents had not accepted the call to go to Arizona? Have you thought about that? How God leads you? Pretty amazing. Joseph, what if you decided to go to some other school than Thunderbird? God's timing is perfect. However, it didn't seem so at the time because you graduated without dating. I mean, who knew? Joseph, you went to a local college, and Taylor, you moved with your parents to, of all places, Idaho. Now how's it gonna happen? You see, it's so amazing how God works. But, you know, we're in that age of technology. And somehow, through maintaining friendship, through texting, emails, developing, and leading to the does he like me, does she like me kind of thing. And I understand that Catherine may have come into play here a bit in this situation. But that's all right. We got to find out some way, right? And if we're too shy to really ask or too afraid to just blatantly say, hey, what about this? Then we need a friend to lead us. But here you are. God has just done such marvelous things to lead you to this point. Your love for each other has grown over time as God has continued to guide you. And now you're here to publicly give your hearts and lives to each other. God has 1,000 ways to bring about His will for your lives, and please don't ever forget it. We've spent a number of hours together over the last few months, while I feebly tried to prepare you for this day and your future life together, realizing the entire time that there was no way that you could be prepared. But I followed the books. Now, while I have your attention for the last time, I want to share just a few final thoughts. I'll be brief, because I know you're eager to get on with the rest of your lives. So here it is. 3 very simple things. In order to have a successful life together, you need to remember. Number 1, constantly behold Christ and His love for you. Number 2, deliberately make God a part of all your activities. Number 3, begin and end each day, every day, with prayer. By following these 3 things, you will be letting God be your God. His word, the guiding force of your home. It won't be easy. It will take a lot of effort, but it will be worth it in the end. And I will say, every moment along the way. Taylor, if you will, give of your time to God, Joseph, if the time is right, your children, and then your work. If you will try to understand Joseph and his work, curb his male ego, while at the same time gently building his self-esteem, kill his masculine deceit while encouraging his hopes and dreams, and establish around your family a circle of true friends. If you will provide in your home the proper atmosphere of culture, the love of music, the love for God, a haven of solitude. Taylor, if you can do this, and by God's power, you can. You will be engaged in a life work that will demand every ounce of your strength, every bit of patience, every talent God has given you, the utmost sacrifice of your love. It will demand everything you have and even more. But by doing this, your life will be kept in perfect tune with Joseph's. And one harmonious chorus will resound from the walls of your home. Now, Joseph, I need to be on you. If you will give your full time to God, number one. Taylor, number two. If the time is right, your children, number three. And then your work. In that order, if you will try to understand Taylor, nurture her delicate feelings so love can flourish, repress her egotism while building her self-esteem and encouraging her hopes and dreams, cultivate the delicate femininity in her that she may truly bloom. You will provide for your home the proper atmosphere of leadership, stability, peace, and love. If you can do all this, and by God's power you can, you will be exercising the talents God has given you. It will demand every bit of patience, every ounce of strength, and the utmost sacrifice of your love. But in doing this, you will keep your life in tune with Taylor's, and your home will resound with the majestic melodies of security, peace, and love. The greatest thing that each of you can do for each other is to develop a deep and personal relationship with Jesus Christ. He alone is the source of a successful marriage. He alone can, with both of you, create a marriage that will last longer than you do. He alone can help you avoid everything that might bring contention to your home and enable you to stay faithful to your marriage vows. Never forget what Solomon said in his book of Psalms, chapter 8, verses 6 and 7. Love is as strong as death. Its ardor as unyielding as the grave. It burns like blazing fire, like a mighty flame. Many waters cannot quench love, and rivers cannot wash it away. Which simply means nothing can destroy your love for each other unless you permit it to. It's there forever. Then, as you weather life together, you will realize that the words of Elizabeth Barrett Browning are a reality for you. I love you not for what you are, but for what I am when I am with you. I love you not only for what you have made of yourself, but what you are making of me. I love you for ignoring the possibilities of the fool in me, and for laying firm hold of the possibilities of the good in me. I love you for closing your eyes to the discords in me, and for adding to the music in me by your attentive listening. I love you because you are helping me to make of the lumber of my life not a shack, but a temple, and of the words of my everyday not a reproach, but a song. I love you because you have done more than any creed to make me happy. You do it without a word, without a touch, without a sign. You do it just by being yourself and my being in your presence. Over the past few months, we've spent quite a few hours together. And now, that part is over. My counsel has come to an end. It's time for the big moment. Okay? Say that again. Okay. So, will you please join hands as a symbol of your willingness to walk with God and each other into eternity? Joseph, before God and these relatives and friends, will you take Taylor to be your wife? Will you love and respect her? Will you always be honest with her? Will you be the kind of husband to her that she will know you should be? Kind, strong, and loving at all times. Whether you have much or little, whether you live in a mansion or in a tiny apartment, will you recognize that you have found your life's treasure in the precious jewel that here is? Realizing that she is a very delicate individual with a tender nature, will you understand that she, like that dainty flower, in the right atmosphere will exude loveliness and grace and therefore needs to be treated with respect and tenderness? Will you make whatever adjustments that are necessary so that you can genuinely share your life with her, giving her courage and support, whether it is in times of sickness or in times of health? And finally, will you promise to continue this kind of relationship until your heart stops beating? Taylor, before God and his relatives and friends, will you take Joseph to be your husband? Will you love and respect him? Will you always be honest with him? Will you with love, kindness, tenderness, and sweetness be a true helpmate for him? Will you provide a refuge and a haven of love, which will give him courage and strength? Will you, by God's grace, maintain that sweet personality and keep that smile on your face as a consistent greeting card for him, regardless of your circumstances? Whether times are prosperous or difficult, whether they're times of laughter or weeping, whether in times of hearty health or physical adversity. Will you promise to continue this kind of relationship until you breathe your last breath? Since you have before God and these witnesses solemnly pledged yourselves to each other with promises of love and fidelity, I, as a minister of the gospel, and by the authority of the laws of the state of Idaho, pronounce you husband and wife. God has tied this knot, so nothing can untie it. Let's pray. Lord, we are here today because you created within us such a great capacity for love. You have led Joseph and Taylor together, and today they are publicly committing themselves to share a lifetime of that love. I simply ask for your blessing on this marriage. And as they begin their life together, may it be one of joy, blessing, and peace, because you are right in the middle of everything they do and say. Lead them together into eternity is my prayer. Amen. Now, Joseph, you may kiss your bride.
Mr. and Mrs. Joseph Frates.
Gently to the ground. 'Tis the night before, and in my heart there is no doubt. Nothing
that when you first met or thought about talking, I guess, which one of you made the first move? I know it's a difficult question to answer.
Catherine.
Okay, now we get into some dicier territory. Who's the better driver?
Come on, Joseph. You got it.
What do you think? Is that both equally as bad?
The judges have decided we will take it. Who is better at keeping surprises? That's shocker. Oh. I'm sorry, can you say that a little bit?
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
It is the wedding where the secrets all come out. Who will be doing the cooking?
Or who's better at it?
Now for the follow-up question, just to see it. Who burns the food?
Very quick answer. Alright, so which of the two of you is more adventurous? Your answers are both very safe. Alright, so which one of you is more likely to be running late? To anything except for this.
Think about it.
Yeah. You got to free me on the last one. You can't keep doing that, Joseph.
We're pretty punctual.
My fault. Hey, it's a great thing to be. It's a great thing to be. Who is a better dresser? Well, hopefully during your married time she can help you just. Alright, here's a sweet one. Who said I love you first?
Good choice.
Who is the first to say I'm sorry?
Alright, I don't like the phrasing of this one, so I'm going to phrase it a little differently. Who is it dangerous to have holding the credit card? Who's going to spend more money?
Tread lightly.
Okay. Who is always in control of the TV remote?
Alright, so this is a two-parter. Who is most likely to get lost on a trip?
Like his father.
Who is most likely to ask for a drink? I was getting there.
Okay, so one of you will admit when you lost. That's okay. Alright, so who is messier between you two?
No doubt.
Yeah.
Oh, to this game.
Alright, I mean you're holding them right in front of you, but don't peek. Who has the smaller feet?
Oh,
Oh, I can't read. Who has the smelliest feet? Don't sniff. We don't need to see that.
And finally, right now, who do you love more than anyone in this world? And we are very happy.
We now come to the time in our evening where members of the bridal party on both sides offer guidance or words that they wish to impart to the newly married couple.
It's a lot of fun. It really is. In today's world, marriage often doesn't get a really good rap. It really doesn't. Unfortunately, we live in a world where more people are divorced than they are married. What y'all have done today is something very special. It's very sacred. It's something that, Catherine and I did almost coming up on 3 years now. Yeah. I'll tell you, it has been fun. We have fought, but I'll tell you, here's the thing. When you fight, make up. Don't let the sun go down on your anger. And if you can't resolve it that night, look each other in the face and say, look, I love you, but we ain't going to solve this tonight. So let's go to bed, and we'll talk about it first thing in the morning. And what you'll find is that oftentimes the big problems that you had the night before ain't so big in the morning. But fighting is important, but so is making up. And when you start having your family, still make time for each other. And if there's something that one side of the family wants to do and the other side doesn't, just remember, you are now your own individual unit, separate from both sides. If you don't want to be with either side for a holiday, go somewhere else. But also make time for each other's family too. So let's see, what other bits and pieces? Just talk to each other. And don't give up on each other. All right? I pass the mic to Ryan.
Hey Joe, as I say, so I think I could give you a piece of advice as well, but I'd like to say I really appreciate both of you. I'm super excited for you, and I'd also like to pray with you when I'm done. But so with Amanda and I getting married, and having watched my parents and my grandparents and having successful marriages, I think fighting definitely is good if you have a disagreement, and lay out the groundwork for how you do it. Organize it, put the work in, because when you first get married, you'll have a lot of adjustments. You'll probably have quite a few disagreements over how things are to be done. But lay out a way where if you have a disagreement, you can sit down, you can talk about it, and you don't interrupt each other, you don't step on each other's toes. And think about, don't do it when you get that late, when you get off of work or late at night, or right when you're leaving for work. Don't do it. Make time to have a good conversation, even if it's a hard conversation, and have grace with one another. The other thing I could share with you, there is a joke that my father told me at my wedding, and my grandfather also told it to him. So this man and woman get married, and they go off to the Grand Canyon. And they decide they're going to go on their honeymoon there, and they're going to hike down in. They got a donkey they're taking with them. He's hauling their stuff down, and they're just going to have a good time. Well, on the way down, they're riding a couple of mules, and the wife's mule starts acting up and just is awful. And she gets it back in line, and she says, "I'll tell you, that's one." And so they keep on going down the trail, down into the canyon. And later on, they get into a rugged terrain. The mule again, it starts getting a little grumpy, and it starts acting up and not doing what she wants. And she gets it back in line, and she says, "That's two." And then they get a little further down in, and the mule's just being ornery. She pulls out her pistol, shoots it in the head, and the mule falls over, and she says, "That's three." So, and then her husband is all freaked out. "That was a couple $1,000 animal. Why the heck would you shoot it?" She said, "That's one." I would really love to pray for you, and my wife and I will both be praying as you guys go into your marriage. And I know Catherine and Zach and the other people around the table, if you guys ever need anything, our phones are open. But I just love to pray for you. So, Lord, I would love to pray for Taylor and for Joe. Thank you that they have come together as one. I pray that you continue just show them how to act as one. That Joe could be a loving husband that would act the way you ask him to, and that Taylor would also do what you're asking her as a wife. lead their lives, and I ask for peace in their home, for a safe place for their soon children to come, and just for their marriage. We love you and praise you, Jesus. Amen. Amen. So.
Good evening. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Kayla Hastings, and I'm the maid of honor and sister of the bride. How do I know the bride? Well, that's easy. She's my sister. I was raised with her. I'm 5 years younger, and I'm sure those first 5 years were a wonderful time with my sister. We got to worry about sharing toys or our parents' attention. Even though that was the case, when my sister found out I was on the way, she was ecstatic and told our parents she wanted a sister. Well, she was in luck because she got one. A bit about the bride, a bit about the groom. As you can tell from the colors of this wedding, Taylor's favorite color is red and Joseph is green. Taylor loves musicals, makeup, and books. Joseph loves Pokemon, dogs, and teddy bears. I asked the bride and groom their favorite thing about each other. Taylor said his eyes, personality, and the way he loves me for me. Joseph said his favorite thing about Taylor is her passion. Since I'm the maid of honor, I feel I should shed some light on my sister. Now, we really know a lot about her. I know her friends probably do, and especially from the shoe game, I feel like you guys probably feel like you know a bit about them. Growing up, we rarely had family game nights. The reason being, Taylor's a sore loser and likes to win. Taylor loves to provide commentaries on movies she likes, and this would drive the living daylights out of her family. Taylor hates spiders and most bugs. The one thing she absolutely hates is flies in the house. Although personally, I do not blame her. Taylor also hates getting her hands dirty. Any food, even getting muddy, and after cleaning, she always has to wash her hands. She has an amazing memory, and her love for acting has only excelled this talent. Now, all of you know Taylor was blessed with an amazing voice. However, did you know she was able to sing the Lord's Prayer at age 3 on tune?
I knew, and I said this girl was going to sing.
Since she's been singing since she was 3, when I came along, she was well accustomed to it at age 5. I grew up listening to songs that my sister would sing, and when I would listen to them by myself without my sister, I was surprised to find it didn't sound as good. This is because all I heard when I would listen to them with my sister is her singing. Having a sister was like having a friend to play with every hour of every day. It was guaranteed that any time I walked into my sister's room and asked her to play with me, she would. And like older sisters do, they have the best toys. I could always play with them if I treated them well, or if she was there to oversee that I do. Although having an older sister could be loads of fun, it also came with complications. Being 5 years older than me, I'm sure my sister wondered how often she could trick me. Examples of this, I think you know where this is going.
No!
It's making me think her feet smell like roses. They do not, and I'm sorry to say that I fell for that a lot. I guess I got my revenge for that, because at night when we shared a room at one point, I would spit water in her face. Growing up with a sister like Taylor, there was never a dull moment. Between the two of us, our imagination was off the charts. We became inspired by London Tipton from the Disney series, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, and made our own videos, which now that I think about it, are very similar to YouTube videos we are making now. We had a great time creating these videos on my sister's bright red camera, and loved ending them with the classic, London Tipton's really great, really great, really great. London Tipton's really great, and she deserves the opposite of hate, which is love. My sister has always been there for me, whether it's in jamming out to musicals or listening to Adventures in Odyssey. She was the one who taught me how to put on her makeup, and still is mine to this day. She was there when I needed someone to chaperone my first date and drive me places when our parents were unavailable. She's very protective of me and has probably threatened any boy who's ever liked me. My sister is also very supportive. when I was about 3 and she was 8, we were swimming in an inflatable pool in the backyard of our house in Battleground, Washington. Taylor, being the crazy rambunctious kid that she was splashing around and bumped my chair that I was sitting in, causing me to fall in and completely submerge under the water. Taylor, seeing that she about drowned her sister, gasps, and when I poke my head out of the water, she immediately cheers for me, going, "Yay, Taylor!" Now, even though she was probably trying to distract me from crying to prevent herself from getting in trouble, to me, this is a story that shows that she wants what's best for me. And in that case, it was encouraging me that falling in the water is fun. Okay. Now, when she met the group? Taylor and Joseph went to Thunderbird Adventist Academy together for all 4 years and sang in the choir and advanced chorale under the direction of Ben Purvis. They didn't start dating until they graduated and did long distance for a while before Joseph moved up here to Idaho and proposed. Or after a couple months proposed. I knew Joseph was the one for my sister when we were playing the card game Dutch Blitz. Now, if you've never played Dutch Blitz or any fast-paced game with Taylor, you know she gets a little crazy. Well, such a circumstance occurred. They both reached to place their card down, with Taylor coming down first and Joseph coming down and slapping her hand. Taylor lets out an ow, and Joseph's response is, Taylor's response is, "That's all right." My mom and I are taken aback and burst out laughing. First of all, if you ever play Dutch Blitz, it is not a game for apologies or niceties. It was in this random moment of playing Dutch Blitz that I knew Joseph was the one. I always knew it took a special guy to be with my sister, one who was patient and understanding. In that moment, when my sister said it was all right after Joseph apologized for hitting her hand, I knew the feeling was mutual for both. If it had been me who hit her hand, I would have to run for cover and pray somebody intervened. Joseph and Taylor bring out the best in each other, and they do all they can to make each other feel loved, safe, and accepted. An example of this is Taylor likes to sleep with a light on. There's no particular reason. It's just something that makes her feel safe and helps her fall asleep. Joseph found out about this, and one day when she was at their house, he asked to show her something. Taylor follows him into the bedroom, and he points and shows her a lamp. He tells her, "This is your light, so you can use it to help you feel safe and use it whenever you want." Now, I would like to congratulate the new couple. I hope you guys have an amazing new life together. Joseph, I'm happy to gain a brother-in-law. I've never had a brother. So this is a new thing for me, and I'm excited. And Taylor, I'm happy that you found a great guy, and I can't wait to see this new chapter of your life unfold.
Spend the whole night talking about the adventures that Taylor and Joe and I had. I've known both of them since high school, and it's been a very wonderful journey. That even though they weren't together at high school, it was meant to be at that time. I remember meeting Taylor on her first week of freshman year in high school, and her trademark was she was the fastest runner in the class. We did a gym class that first week, and she was just speeding past everybody, and I was thinking, who is this girl? Before long, we became close friends, and she's like a sister to me now. Taylor's a friend that even though we haven't lived near each other for over 6 years, our bond together is closer than ever, and she's a forever friend. Taylor, you are a beautiful woman who won't let anybody walk over you or even your friends. You are a lioness, and a mother hen, as you've been saying this week. Who protects everybody around her and values her friendships and those around you. You are a treasure of a friend that few will find in this life, and I'm so very blessed to know you, and you have a very special place in my life. And Joseph, in high school, you were the jokester that can make everybody laugh. But you also, still is, yes. But you always had a huge heart. Both of you treat friendships and relationships with the utmost importance. And I see how both of you have put everything and all your love into each other. May your marriage be one of happiness, joy, and laughter. And know that no matter what struggles you come your way, communicate through them, remind yourselves of the vows you made each other today. And always know that God is with you at every step. The angels and God are celebrated today and the commitment you both have to each other. Marriage is a wonderful union, and enjoy every moment that you both have together. Create memories that will last a lifetime. And now, if you all can lift up your glasses. I congratulate both of you on an incredible and beautiful day. And as the musical Hamilton says, let's toast to the groom, and let's toast to the bride.
You've got nothing left to do but face what's in front of you. Loud as thunder, clear as water. Look at what's in front of you. Temperature rising, no more disguises, and it feels like it is the first time being inside my chest. And the sea, life is just a minute, I am just a breath, just a breath, just a breath. Shapes and colors form inside, out from what was black and white. Not hard to see for you and me. Everything has fallen bright, and it feels like it is the first time being inside my chest. And the sea, life is just a